I think, yeah, team five. Team five, let me know which of you is going to present. Whom of you is going to present next class? It's going to be team 5, 7, and 6. So team 5. Let me show you also Canvas. If you don't remember your team number, I'm going to show it to you right now. So people, project teams. So out of these 3 people, who is presenting next class? Well, you choose team number 5, 7, and 6 can tell me as well. Team 5, 6, or 7?
I can present in team 5.
Who is you?
Carla.
Carla, team 5? Okay, Carla
Yes.
Aldrete. Team 6 and 7?
Sorry, teacher. I thought that it was going to be just the top 3.
Oh, yeah. But team 1 is from the other group. So that's why I choose up to the 4th rank. So it's teams 5, 6, and 7. So 6 and 7.
In 6, it would be me, Wendy.
Okay. Wendy. And for team 7, Bruno or Akira? Are they here? Actually, let me see if they are here. Yeah, they are here. Are you still deciding? I'll give you some more time if you want. Let's go to ocean number 2. So team 9 is from my other class. Team 12, 14, and 11. So it's 11, 12, and 14. So team 11, team 12, and team 14. Team 11, which out of you two, Alison or Pamela?
I just got into the class, so I'm not sure what we have to do.
Oh, we're deciding who's presenting next class. So do you want to present for team 11, Alison?
Sure.
So Alison for team 11, team 12.
Mi prof, Arturo.
Okay, Arturo Villaseñor. And till 14.
I guess me. I'll present.
So Jivan Sirak, right?
Yes.
Okay, so team 7, have you decided already? Bruno or Akira? Who's presenting?
I have a question.
Yes.
Present about the simulation, right? About the steps we've taken and.
So basically how you solve the case. It's your essay in a presentation.
Ah, okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you're presenting, Alison, now that you told me you came late, you have the opportunity to get 2 extra final points if you win this presentation. So our guest, the consultant Gabriela Sanchez, she's going to decide which one she liked the most.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so team 17, team 18, and in team 22. So who's presenting for team 17? Leslie or Angel? Team 18.
If you want, I can present, teacher.
Okay, yeah. Samuel Dominguez. And for team 18, Mariana or Jimena?
Mariana is not here, but I can.
I'm already here.
Okay, so who's presenting next class?
I can be.
Okay, Jimena.
The presentation is about this evidence, right? The second evidence about Trader
Yeah,
Joe's.
the second evidence. So how did you solve the case? Basically, the structure you have within your essay, that should be the same practically.
Okay, but instead of the document in a presentation.
Yeah, it
Okay.
doesn't mean you don't have to deliver the essay though. It's the essay and the presentation for you.
It's both. Okay.
Okay, and team 22, Maria Fernanda or Mariana?
Me, María Fernanda.
Maria Fernanda. And team 7, Akira or Diego? Once again, sorry, Bruno.
Teacher, we are still deciding.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, 9 is more than enough. So if none of you want to participate team 7, we can leave a room for someone who is out of those teams to participate. You let me know your decision. One of you, or you can let that space empty.
Teacher, we are deciding because we don't know if we can come to a class this day.
Okay, so you want to
So-
leave the space empty for someone who wants to participate for those points and for the subcompetency?
Yes, teacher, it's okay because we don't know and we
Okay,
don't
that's
want
fine.
to.
No worries. So someone wants to participate next class for the subcompetency of oral language and ultimately to maybe win 2 extra final points.
Teacher, I have a question and I think that de eso va a depender mi respuesta. En la evidencia 3, ¿cómo se va a evaluar o sea, la subcompetencia de lenguaje oral?
The same way, we're going to invite in that time, on the 3rd term, two different consultants. We are going to have 2 days for presentations, and those who cannot get into those presentations are going to deliver a video, as we did in 1st term. But eventually, I think with those 2 consultants, and we have another 9 to 10 people there, I think we're almost done because I have already evaluated around a third on the 1st term. So yeah, it's right now, or maybe it's the next term.
Okay, so it's okay if I participate this term?
Yeah, for sure. So Pamela Garcia.
Yes.
Okay, so we have the 9 people that are going to be presenting next class. However, all of you guys, I will expect you to be here because I think it's a great opportunity if you start connecting with consultants, if you are interested in this consultancy world. She is going to bring also some important information for you if you want to be a trainee in VCG. Especially, she knows a lot about women programs in Boston Consulting Group. And that's a good job if you like consultancy, is what we have been doing here in the class, basically. So she'll bring important information and you have the opportunity to connect with her. Okay, so yeah, class is not canceled, but the whole class is going to be devoted for the final presentations. Okay, any questions on this? Oh, also, before I go to other topic, the presentation is a 10-slide, 10-minute maximum presentation. So I repeat, you have to put 10 slides, no more, no less, and you have to deliver your presentation in less than 10 minutes. Okay, now some questions regarding this first activity.
I have a question.
Yes, Maria Fernanda?
Is the consultant going to ask us questions, or like, can she ask, or can you ask during the presentation or at the end?
Yeah, she'll ask she'll ask questions, sorry. She'll ask if she thinks she is precise to do so, she can do that.
Okay, and let's say she asks something and our partner wants to help us, can they help us? Or
Yeah,
no?
for sure, they can help you. Actually, yeah. For those who are team of the people that are presenting, I will suggest for you to go to that class because you can get some extra points if your team member wins. I will give you more information that day. But yeah, you can get help from them. Any other question?
It's gonna be this Thursday, right?
Yeah, this Thursday in class.
The nine teams are going to present the same day.
The 9 people, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
More questions? Okay, so let's go to systems theory. Yes, someone was asking for the more time for the evidence. Sorry, I cannot give more time because that wouldn't be fair for the people that are presenting on Thursday. And for the oral competency, do we need to record us? No, you don't need to record yourself. If you are one of those 9 people that are presenting next class, I'm going to evaluate the oral language in that presentation. So yeah, you can leave your questions there in the chat and we can review them. Evidence is individual. Okay, so can you see my presentation there? And is it moving?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So today's topic is systems theory for business. Systems theory is defined as a group of different, in this case, interacting units or elements that have a common purpose. The second exception is the one that I like the most. You have to think the whole or the unity as a system of different interactions that work in a systemic, interrelated, and interdependent manner. The first definition fits better in terms of business purposes than the second one. Remember, we can find systems, and systems could be cables, computers, people, animals, economies, businesses. As long as they have different parts or they are one part of another system that is interacting and is interdependent and interrelated to other systems or elements within the system, then therefore we can analyze that object of study as a that is following the systems theory. We can analyze them from the point of view of systems theory. We have two different types of systems, the closed systems and open systems. If you remember, the first time you hear those two concepts is in chapter 2, not in the strategic management textbook, in the first textbook, the prospective methods from Dr. Gandara. They mentioned that in the second chapter. We're going to see how each of those two behaves. Okay, the first one, the closed system. Closed systems have a relatively low or little interaction with other systems. I say relatively little interaction because a system can have as a thermometer, it has an interaction with the outside, with temperature, right? However, it's not an open system, it's a closed system because even though it receives an output from the outside, it's just little interaction. If we think about the different processes that go within that thermometer. So, for example, a watch can be also a closed system that has little interaction with other systems of the outside. The only interactions is maybe when you set the time, the current time. However, all the different processes and different subsystems that are within any watch doesn't require too much of interaction. That's why remember, closed system, it doesn't mean it doesn't receive any interaction, but it's a relative little interaction according to the processes that go within that system. Open systems. Open systems interact with other systems that are in the same ecosystem or with other elements that belong to the outside environment. For example, living organisms, bacteria. They get food from the environment to do their living processes, and their output also goes to that environment, and they are interrelated and interconnected, actually. So what they do to the environment is the same what they get from the environment. So they are working as a, let's say, a bigger system. So a visual representation of these two different concepts is this graph. In the closed system, that's the first one we see there, you can put the input there and you have a expected output. And see, you have the external environment or the outside environment there described. But in an open system, the boundaries between the system and the environment cannot be defined in such a manner as the closed systems. And actually, the input you put to this system might not be the output. For instance, if you eat a cake in a, I don't know, in a birthday party, each of you might have eaten a slice of that, but I might be intolerant to lactose. So the output of me, of eating the same input, might not be the same as someone who likes chocolate or someone who doesn't like chocolate, to someone who has diabetes, and so on, right? That's an example of how the inputs are not related to outputs in the open systems. In closed systems, if I put in a calculator 4 plus 6, since no other element in other system or the outside environment is interacting in this closed system, I know the answer is going to be 10, right? Let's talk about the business view in closed systems. As shocking as it might be to you, closed system was the first and the most commonly used point of view in business until the 60s, the 1960s. It's basically just seeing or performing or formulating your strategies based on your organization and the internal different systems of your organization. If you remember internal analysis, I'll give one extra final point to someone who tells me, how do we call this kind of view? Developing your strategies based on your closed system, on the internal parts of your organization. How do we call with this kind of view?
Can you repeat the question? I didn't understand.
Okay, so how do we call the kind of view? How is it called the kind of view where you base your strategies, your business strategies on the internal factors of an organization, on just the internal factors of our organization? How do we call this kind of approach or view? Where we base our strategies in just the internal parts of our organization, which is the same as the closed system view, where we saw another name for that.
I don't know a name, but it could be like the half of the sod where we focus on the internal parts.
Yeah, but that's not the name of the view. So remember I told you this bunch of theories that tells you should base all your different strategies on your internal factors only, because that way your competitive advantage is going to be more sustainable. It's going to change less. This point of view or this approach is called?
Organizational?
Nope. You got the other one.
Operational?
Nope. Chapter 6, internal audit. I don't know who say organizational, but that's the opposite view or approach. But now you are within a certain range of possibilities of answers. If it is not organizational, industrial, it is the other one. Nope. You give up 1 point. Okay, it's called the resource-based view, right? Resource-based view. So you base all your different strategies on the resources you have. In other words, the internal elements you have. Industrial organizational tells you to focus all your different strategies or formulate your strategies based on the external environment. Open systems. Organization has an open social system. It means it interacts with other systems, in other words, other organizations, and with the environment. So the two pioneers of this effort of looking, because I told you, closed system was the approach until the 1960s. After that, Daniel Katz and Robert Kahn, these two people, were the pioneers in the effort to understand how organizations can behave, or it's better to analyze them from the point of view of open systems. So organizations interact with customers, organizations interact with other companies, organizations interact with the government, with other external forces such as technology, other people that are not our customers as well, and they receive feedback. These three words are important. Communication, they receive feedback, and the managing between different subsystems within the systems. Open systems is not organizational industrial view, because organizational industrial view says you only have to focus on the outside. open systems is you have to focus on the outside and also in the inside, in the different subsystems, in your marketing department, in your production department, and how these different departments, aka subsystems, interact between them or among them and receive input from the outside as well. And how these difference of elements receive input from the outside environment and deliver an output for your organization and also for the outside. And the same as a living bacteria, what you put in the outside as an organization, it stays there in the outside where you also take inputs. So the two, the organization and the external environment, are coexisting or co-living in a same macro environment. I won't say it's obvious, but it's obvious that this kind of approach is way better than the closed systems, because right now in a VUCA environment, we cannot think as an organization as an isolated part in any economy. So we have to think about how we take decisions basing our strategies in systems theory, and that's what I'm going to evaluate in your evidence. I want you to let me know that you understand how this subsystem of the competitors, or how this subsystem of the people that know our customer, or how this system of our customers, or how the different subsystems that are in our organization, such as the marketing department, HR department, I don't know, customer service, how all these different systems and subsystems interact between them in order for them to give you a solution to the case. Okay, so any questions on this? Systems theory? I will tell you how I'm going to evaluate that. The next, remember, that's our third activity. Show you everything for the evidence. So before we go for the break, I will show you how to use the CPM matrix. I'm pretty sure you don't have the CPM matrix already, but as soon as possible, I will upload it to you. The CPM matrix is a simplification of a SWOT analysis that serves as a comparison for your company to other competitors in the same industry. So we have in this list of items success factor keys. Success factor keys can be either internal or external factors. And I say simplify because if you have read the chapter, you'll see that the items that are listed here are not as descriptive as the IFE matrix or the EFE matrix. In this case, a success factor for any company within one certain industry could be global expansion, could be, I don't know, efficiency in production, or in the entertainment industry could be customer service. You'll see it's not only internal or external factors, it can be both. And the words I use are one or two, or it can be even three. So they are internal and external factors, but they are simplified and more general. I repeat them. For instance, it could be global expansion, customer service, efficiency, production. The weight is assigned the same way we have been doing it for the other matrices. It has to sum up to 100% or the unity in decimals. And the score here varies. You might hear when I explain to you how to score the different items that I might be contradicting myself. But the scoring is from 1 to 4 as well, where 4 is a major strength, 3 is a minor strength, 2 is a minor weakness and one is a major weakness. So it's the same as the internal factor evaluation matrix. You might say, okay, professor, but we also have external factors. Yes, I know. But the authors of this matrix outweigh this glitch by using general items. So you won't find any ambiguity because all of these factors are general and you can think of them in weaknesses and strengths for the company, okay? A weighted score, and then we have these numbers. So what do you think if we have internal and external factors? We have a scoring from major strengths to major weaknesses. What does this number mean? What do you think it means?
The relevance.
What?
Could it be the weight that the success factors have on the company?
Yeah, that might be one way. You can see from that way that is the same from the company point of view. So I have, based on the success factor keys for this industry, if I have a positive balance, my company has more strengths, right, than weaknesses. If it has a positive balance, therefore I can say that I have high chances to succeed in this industry because the items we listed are the success factors for that certain industry. And if I have a, let's say, negative balance that is below 2.5, therefore I have more weaknesses. So I might not survive in this industry. And you can compare yourself to other competitors. So questions on this matrix?
Yeah, so if the number is bigger, it's better, you know?
Yeah, because you are going to have more, I mean, it's better for your company, but when comparing, it's better for other competitors to have a lower, right? But for you as your organization, it's better for you to have a higher number.
For competitors.
You can go to 4. If you have all of them are really major strength, then you can reach a 4. Sorry, do we have another question? Okay, before we go to the break, questions? Okay, guys, so let's come back at 8 o'clock. Also, I will answer one question here. If you already did this competency for a language, no, you don't have to, Carla. So you want to change? So Melissa and Barbara.
So is it better if someone else that hasn't done the
It's better,
subcompetency?
it's better, Carla.
I can do it.
Okay.
Okay, Barbara.
Yes.
Okay, so see you after the break.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's come back to class and let me show you the evidence. So the instructions are simple. You have to read the case that was assigned to your specific ocean, and you have to solve that case in an argumentative essay. What I'll be evaluating is the SWOT analysis, internal, external analysis, and then the SWOT analysis and a strategic analysis. So the first evidence I show you the rubric. However, I thought that was going to be in front of this page, but apparently it was kind of hidden. So this time I just copy paste the rubric that I'll be using to evaluate. This is a part of system theory that I told you, but basically if you have systemic thinking, all of these different items completed, I'm pretty sure you have this one, because I'll be seeing if you can describe the different systems that are related to the organization. Remember, that could be technology, economics, government, customers, competitors. If you describe them here, that's what you did also in the first evidence. And if you got that systemic thinking, this is really easy to get. But here you can have each of them that I'll be evaluating. Remember, in order for you to have one subcompetency mastered, you have to have more than 70 points or 70%. Each of these different items has a weight, and all of them has a total weight of 1, or the unity. So you have to, if you get the analysis for that, and then you get the strategic design of strategies, you have 5 plus 3 is 8. So you get this subcompetency master. That's how we evaluate this. You also have systemic thinking, the same as the first evidence, scientific thinking, and oral language for those that are presenting next class. So focus on complying with these different items, because the ones that are going to be evaluated and are going to be reflected on your final grade. So, any questions on what you have to deliver for Thursday as an argumentative essay before we go to the cases?
It's similar as the last evidence, no?
Sorry?
It's similar as the evidence 1.
Yeah, this is similar to the evidence 1. Now that in this case, I'm not evaluating that you do the Pierre-Schwartz or the cross impact. I'm evaluating that you do a SWOT analysis. In order for you to do a SWOT analysis, what do you need to do before? External and internal analysis, right? So
Yes.
right now, I'm going to be more picky on your SWOT analysis. Yes?
No, nothing.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes?
Can we use the same that we did with our partner, or do we have to change it?
No, you can use the same as your partner. Remember, tools can be shared for sure because you develop it in teams. If you think you can make some adjustments by yourself, that's fine. But yeah, you can use those tools. Also, let me tell you, in a strategic or design of strategies, it says you design strategies following a process, an analysis process, and a structure, a strategic analysis process. In other words, I expect you to do the strategic SWOT because that's a structured way to develop analysis. That's why I'm requiring SWOT analysis and also strategic analysis. In other words, the strategic SWOT. How do you pick a strategy that is the best for the case in a structured way? So those two are the the weight is, the heaviest weight. More
Okay,
questions on this? Mhm.
Can I use, I mean, like 2 or 3 strategies in my essay, or it has to be just one?
Yeah, you can be several. If you think that's appropriate, that's fine.
Okay, thank you. And does it have a minimum or maximum length for the essay?
Yeah, the essay is from 1,200 words to 1,800 words.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Do we have
For
to
those,
use
yes, Mariana?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do we have to use the competitive matrix that you taught us?
Strictly no, because that is not, I mean, if that helps you to reach a strategy, it can count as a structured weight. Because for Trader Joe's, one of the questions is, how can we, with this new entrance of this new small, well, like Walmart that started to do small grocery stores. So the first question they are asking you is, how can you survive with these new competitors? So if you give me a CPM matrix, that's a structured way in this specific case, because you are talking about competitors, to reach a strategy. That can count for this part if you don't do the strategic SWOT. But I think that's the only case that's needed if you want to have these three points of this strategic design.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay, more
We need
questions?
to use one strategy. We need to use the strategies that we did in the strategic SWOT.
Sorry, Pamela, can you repeat that again?
Yeah, and we need to use the strategies that we made in the strategic SWOT.
I mean, I think that's kind of, I think that's natural, right? If you develop these different strategies, you have been working on it, and that's like kind of the result you have. So I think you should use one of them. Is that what you ask? That you need to have this? I mean,
Yes.
you need to use these strategies. I mean, I won't say you need, but it comes natural. If you develop these different analyses, that's the result. Well, one of those is the answer. I have another question here. The SWOT analysis is part of the essay, or it must be included as an annex? I will suggest for you to put it in an annex, but you can, if it fits, no. I mean, put it in a, if it is graphic, put it in an annex. And for those who didn't comply with the systemic thinking, the second point says results presentation. Presenta el análisis de variables en forma organizada, señalando la relevancia e impacto de cada una, que es lo mismo que argumentar porque es importante, a través de recursos gráficos. You don't have to use the graphic resources within your essay, but if you call them, like if you see Annex 2 and you have a graphic resource such as, I don't know, a matrix or something, you are using graphics to your essay by calling them. And I think that's more, es más refinado usarlo. And as you can see, the different cases that we have been reading, basically none of them has graphs within the text. They call the graphs and they are located in the end. And that's a good way to do it, because if you go to the graphs resources at the end and you find all of them, and you know they're going to find all of them there, I think that's easier than if you mix both. The strategic analysis is the QSPM. That's a strategic analysis. A strategic analysis is the analysis you need to do in order to reach a strategy. So it could be QSPM, it could be a strategic SWOT, it can be CPM, it can be IFPM. If that helps you, that matrix helps you to reach a strategy, that's a strategic analysis. Si no cumplí con lo de Peter Schwartz, es pensamiento estratégico. Eso es perspectiva estratégica, strategic foresight. So if you didn't have Peter Schwartz or the strategic foresight subcompetency, wait until the final, the extra case. you can have that there. Here in this evidence, we are just analyzing a strategic design. Okay, so I think we're going, well, no, we're staying with these questions before we go to the case. So more questions regarding the evidence.
We include the introduction that we already did as part of the evidence.
So I didn't give you any personal feedback, but last class we reviewed the problem. That's the most important part. I wanted to get right in your introduction because I'm evaluating that here as well in problem analysis. So last class, and we are going to summarize that again or recall that again, we review what is the problem to solve in each case. So if that problem is well identified in your first introduction, I think you can use it. That's fine. More questions? Okay, let's go to the case. Okay. No. Let me know your question, Mariana.
But it's on the other evidence that I included the oral part, but you sent me like a comment that it didn't appear in Illumin. And I checked again and it's there, but I don't know, do I send it to you again or do I do another oral?
Okay, let's stay at the end of the class and we'll check that if I can see it or not, because I'm pretty sure I didn't see it, but if I just missed it, let's review that at the end of class. Okay, Mariana? So, yeah, let's go to the cases and I'll show you here. We aren't going to do breakout rooms. I'm just going to go through the 3 cases problems. Let's go with the first one. Aston Martin, if you remember, for each of the 3 cases, we have 2 kinds of problems to solve, right? One is just yes or no, and the other one is one strategy. So in this case, I repeat again, the big question is whether the second century plan has us. These are the 2 questions. Is that a wise choice? Which choice? That they expanded to other markets that they were in. Those markets are in their core or their heart of the organization. So what they did with the premiering of this sub and the zero emissions vehicle, is this a wise choice? Yes or no? And the strategy is, how does a high-end premium provider in any business grow without losing its exclusive reputation? So it's asking you for a strategy. Those are the 2 questions you had to solve for this first. Okay, so let's go to Trader Joe's.
Sorry, in the last class, you said that it was like from the paragraph of the right approach, and it was another question. I don't know if it's like basically the same one.
It's basically the same one, because if you go at the end of the case, I'm pretty sure you'll find the same 2 questions. Yes, was selling 14,000 unidades para cada año, but half of which will be segment other than the company's traditional heart. It's the same question. He's asking you for a yes or a no. And the second one is, will it dilute the exclusive brand image of Aston Martin? How should a high-end premium provider in any business grow without losing it? So it's the 2 questions. Remember, you'll find the problem at the beginning and at the end of the case. It's just phrased differently.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, let's go to Trader Joe's. First question is here. Trader Joe's had to consider how it might adapt to cope with these threats. Which threats? These new competitors. In this case, in Trader Joe's, we don't find the two questions at the beginning and at the end. We find the first question in the beginning and the second question at the end. Here it is asking you for a strategy to adapt to cope with these threats. It's asking you for a strategy. And the second question that is at the end of this, it's here. It's not a specific question, but you can turn that into a question, right? How can a company, I mean, are they doing the right thing or not to be expanded in such a way with the danger of losing its charm? So do you think this strategy is right or not? It's asking you for a yes or no question. Let's go to Lego case.
Profe,
Yes?
what was the first question with trade?
It's asking you for this. So there you have to consider how it might adapt to cope with these threats of new competitors. It's asking you for strategies with these new competitors. How can Trader Joe's survive with these new competitors?
Okay, thank you.
Let's go to the Lego case. Lego people had it easier. So, I don't think I'm sharing the Lego case. Are you seeing my Lego case or not? Wait.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So let's go to the first part. We can see a question here. There's not a question per se or a specific question, but if you read it, you'll find that they are asking to the person that is taking the decision, which is who is it? I don't remember the name of the person who's taking the decision, but they are asking him if Lego should close or shut down the Lego Universe game or to continue working on it. So it's a yes or no question. Should we shut it down or should we continue with it? So the first question is the same one. If you were Jesper, this is the person who's taking the decision. What would you recommend to the board? To shut it down or to not shut it down? Second question is not an important question. They are asking you what are the differences between Lego Universe and Minecraft. Third question is an important question. What will you do to help Lego Group grow successfully in the digital era? So they are asking you for a strategy. And the fourth one is not an important. In retrospect, was it a mistake for the Lego Group to launch Lego Universe? It's just a reflection question. So yes or no question, a strategy question. Each case has one yes or no question and a strategy question. Most of the cases just have these two kind of questions and they give you both. So questions on the problems we found. Okay, so I think the hardest part in any case is to find the right problem. So now it's time for you to deliver a solution to that problem. So I hope not getting any answer or solution that is not solving the main problem I just gave you. So keep focused. If you don't remember the advanced guide I gave you, you might review the presentation. Focus and use as a criteria for the strategies if you are deciding between or among two or more strategies that you got from, I don't know, the QSPM or the strategic SWOT. What's the criteria you are going to use? The problem you're trying to solve. And ask yourself, with this strategy, with this solution, am I solving the problem that is stated in the case? Yes or no? If you solve it, congratulations. If you don't, well, review your process. Okay, so that's it for today. I stay the rest of the class here answering questions. We are going to answer questions regarding cases, regarding your SWOT, regarding anything you have been working on so far. And we have 40 minutes for that. If you don't have any questions for those who are presenting next class, I'm going to randomize your presentation. I mean, if you're going to be the first, the second, the third, I'm going to do it randomly. And I'll wait for you, all of you, next class for this amazing opportunity we are going to have with this consultant and for the amazing presentations you are going to deliver. If you don't have any more questions, if you have, stay. But if you don't, I'll see you on Thursday night. Have a nice beginning of the week. I have some questions here. Can we go to the breakout room? Yes, we can talk about personal problems or personal inquiries right now. Let me answer the questions here. Hello, Professor. Good evening. Could I speak to you before finishing the class? Yes. Okay, so yeah, Mariana wanted to talk. So, okay, so let's go with Wendy. And wait for me a bit because I think Mariana requested first and she's going to talk about a quick thing. So we are going to go to a breakout room and I'll be back. Yes, we can do the breakout rooms thing. If you don't want to talk in front of everyone. Okay, so Mariana, let's go to a breakout room and I'll be right back.
Okay, thank you.